So I'm here today with Isaac talking about the different aspects of high school sports, such as commitment, time management, player coach, and player parent relationship. So Isaac, what do you think about commitment in high school sports?
Well, coming to high school sports, I know to make the varsity team. As a freshman last year, I had to try hard and try my best to outdo everybody. Even though last year I only played JV, but at the end of the year I worked hard during the season and I got brought up to varsity. But all in all, when you want to make a commitment, you have to work hard, go to workouts, get everything that your coaches have.
And even if you don't want to, there's times when you could go hang with your friends or go do whatever, hang with a girl, but you gotta set your priorities straight.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So and also part of that is time management. You can't be spending too much time on sports or too much time on school, because then it'll take away from one another. So what are some things that you do to manage your time being a student athlete?
Well, usually bus rides to the games. I'll do my homework on the bus a little, just get my homework done for the game, and after the game, bus ride home, some homework, and then usually if our game doesn't start till 5 and we don't leave the bus till 3:30, I'll do homework before I get ready to walk down.
And time management it's a great skill to know, because throughout your life there will be many things that come up that you need to not spend so much time on and spend more time on, and it teaches you the duration it takes to complete something with other variables included in that. So we're going to move on to player-coach relationship. So the relationship between players and their coaches, in every sport could be good or bad depending on how you like your coach. Some players very much like their coaches, while others dislike their coaches for various reasons. So what do you think about parent-coach-player relationship, Isaac?
Well, I think from our perspective, if you have a player who plays and the coach is either family friends or just really likes that player, and just focus, sometimes they just focus on them to get them better so they can get somewhere in life, instead of helping each other, helping other players and getting your team better instead of one overall player getting better. Because if you do that, then your team might not be as good, and there might only one top player.
And that's a really good point, Isaac, because one thing about not necessarily all sports but team sports is that it's very important to have a good relationship with your teammates and your team, because you win the games as a team. There's no individual on in your case the baseball field that makes the team win because he himself is so much better than the other team. It's the entire team's effort, And so that brings me into the question about fundraising, booster clubs. Those things, booster club organizations are very important for high school sports, because they fund the expenditure of a spring trip, clothing, any benefits received from it. And so what do you think about booster clubs, Isaac?
Well, going back to the coach-player thing, if the player has a family member that's on the board and gives decent amount of money to the school for sports and all that, then they'll help that player more. But I feel boosters are a big help, because we wouldn't be able to, some schools wouldn't be able to afford a bus to take to a away game, a uniform to wear during a game. For example, how some schools take spring trips down to Florida, summer, just to
Paid
play.
for by the Boosters Club.
Paid by the Boosters Club.
And that's an interesting point you made about coach-player relationship, and I guess you could say parent-coach relationship and booster club parent relationship. And how the donation of more or less money would increase or decrease your odds to receive playing time as a part of an organization. Just politicians favor businesses because they fund their campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
They receive benefit from it. So that could be part of the reason as to why a large donation of money will increase your odds of playing, because the team, not only the coach but the team, receives more benefit from it. It's not necessarily saying it's fair, however, that's an explanation for it.
However, can we go back to the commitment part real quick? So seniors like for high school sports, I feel like seniors, like they don't try as hard, but the coaches will still give them like a starting spot or like whatever. Like if there's a freshman that's kind of better and works harder, and the coaches might know that they can do better, like a junior or sophomore, they can do better than a senior. I feel like the coaches still put them first because I get it to last year, but I feel like coaches should do what's good for the team instead of getting someone in because they started last year playing.
Yeah, and that's a good point you made about the seniors and how they may not necessarily take their playing time or the team as seriously as players who are going to be returning to the team. However, being a senior, almost puts you in a spot it puts you in a spot where you should take leadership of your team, because you're much older. You've experienced the season numerous times. You can, if anything, your seniors should be your most engaged players because they're helping make your lower classmen better.
Yeah.
To not make the same mistakes that those seniors made.
I feel like some seniors there could be some seniors that are like a bad influence.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like some of them might not be the best person, or like they might do some stuff out of baseball that they might try to get you to do maybe with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they like you or something, they want to hang out with you. But I don't know. Seniors just think they're like the top dog sometimes.
And the thing with commitment, I guess that much relates to time management because to be committed to something, you need to budget. You need to budget time to be committed and to be at that activity. But if you don't have good time management skills, then it's hard to be committed to something because you're spending too much time on one thing when your priorities are telling you to do another thing. You just don't have the duration of time needed to complete whatever activity.
Yeah, what you mean.
And so kind of what we were saying earlier about player or parent-coach relationship. I think that in high school sports that the coach, like the coaching selection process, I think that they should assess where the coach, like where they live, who their family is, their past experience, or their past experiences, where else they've coached, because if you have a coach who went to Palmyra, graduated from Palmyra, and then his friends are the same age as him and they live in Palmyra, and they have kids that play a sport, it's hard to be the coach and not play your buddy's kid more than somebody else because you went to high school with them.
Like I feel like coaches shouldn't for a parent to be able to be a coach. I don't think their kid should be their kid can be a lower class but not be in high school yet. I feel like once their kid reaches high school, that if the coach is a good coach and he doesn't do what most coaches do for a kid on their team, which is play them more, give them more opportunities, and the coach for the high school doesn't do that to their kid, then yeah, they can stay. But I feel like once the kid gets up in high school and they start to treat him more, then they should not be able to do it because some coaches, there's an assistant coach and his kid is playing, trying out this for the baseball team, football team, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They might he might not be the best player and there might be someone better who might not be able to play this year because they took him because their dad is an assistant coach and they don't want that coach getting mad.
Mm-hmm. Right, I see what you mean. And that kind of goes on about how important relationships are, not only necessarily in sports but in your life, because let's say you graduate from college, you're in seek of a job, and somebody who can hook you up with a job in whatever profession. The reason you got that job is because of your relationship with that person. And so I think that parents' relationships with the coaches and vice versa has a tremendous effect on what players are playing more or less, and things of that nature. However, I do, there are scenarios when the coach's kids are in fact the best players because maybe the coach helps them the most, they put in the most work,
mm-hmm.
and that's good, that's a good thing. However, in a scenario where one player is receiving more playing time than another player for any reason other than their higher skill level, that brings up an issue to me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But that's one thing I don't like about like high school sports. Like in professionals, you don't, or like college, you don't see. Like for example, I forget what Sixers player it was, but their dad was the head coach for the team, and like he might have got a little more like playing time, even though he wasn't the best. But later on, he got traded away because he wasn't that good, and the dad had to do what to do to make his team better.
You know, and that's a respectable, you know, thing to do, because he did it in the interest of his team rather than, you know, his kid. And that kind of brings back to the commitment point, is that like when you're part of a team, any team sport, you're really committed to the team and do things in the interest of the team rather than in the interest of yourself. You know, it's better in the interest to yourself to not go to practice, you know. However, it's in the better interest of the team to show up to practice and participate and make everybody else and yourself better.